Hello and welcome to episode 10. It's going to be our favorite guest of all. It's going to be Assassin
Damn.
Dave. He's the content creator, he's a
Woo!
YouTuber, caster, analyst. He does everything. Plus, he has a bit of a relationship with BTK, and I'll let you walk it through. But before we do, I want to know, as your name is Assassin Dave, how many people have you actually killed?
Quite a bit. Back in my pro days, I was known as the Slayer, Jungle Slayer.
Jungle Slayer. You've always been a jungler.
I was being a jungler. Actually, I
Ah,
played mid back when I played Arena Valor
okay.
professionally. But I was originally still a jungler. I just kind of
Ah,
swapped positions because the team needed
okay.
me to. So yeah.
Okay, impressive, impressive. Okay, so walk me through a little bit about BTK though. This is the team obviously in North America, but like what
Yeah.
exactly is the relationship here?
Our company, our team, Foreign Famous, manages BDK and then individual players as well. They're our exclusive talent. So we work with them on a content creator basis as well. The interesting thing about BTK is that um, every single one of the players are content creators. And then they stream, they make content. I think they stream and make content in English, global English mobile MOBA community wise.
Hmm,
They
hmm.
probably do more than anyone else.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Um,
actually quite
so yeah,
impressive. Yeah, I mean you do as well. So there's a lot that's going on. But you were talking about the agency. You didn't actually say the name, but Foreign Famous. How about
yes.
you walk me through a little bit about that, plus your own journey within this agency itself?
So we started Foreign Famous, I think, in 2022,
Hmm.
end of 2022. So we're closing on 3 years now. So it's still a small, young startup, I would say, right?
Hmm.
And then we focus on esports content, events, and I will say, yeah, events, content, and a lot of collegiate stuff here locally in the United States.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So if
Yeah.
people are trying to be, to get noticed by even your agency, right?
Mm.
Which is, I assume, is going to be a tremendous boost for them in their careers. Like, what do they need to do to kind of catch your eye, Dave?
I mean, I think we like talent
Mm,
who are self motivated
yeah.
to do content. Because like the global YouTube scene, I would say, or content space scene, especially in the gaming space, um, what we noticed from our past decade,
Mm,
just individually, from myself, for me, and then I mean, combining our team experience, we have quite a few decades of experiences,
yeah.
and then from what we've seen is it's really hard to make someone famous.
Hmm, hmm.
Somebody have to be like the talent have to just kind of be passionate about the project, want to do it, and then willing to put work behind the words.
Hmm.
So if you tell me that, Dave, I want to get sponsored, I want to do this and that, and then I have to constantly push you
Yeah.
to do the content for your own channel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not going to be the person I want to work with. And
Exactly.
then I have to be blunt with that creator as well. You're just wasting your own time.
Hmm.
But if you're doing it out of passion,
Hmm.
that's just you have some content to share, you have some words you want to say,
Hmm.
yeah, feel free to do that. But we usually set a pretty realistic expectation
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
anyone we work with.
Hmm.
If this is your goal, then this is the amount of work you want to put behind. But if you're not willing to do that, then we'll have to set a different goal.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that was the biggest thing that I noticed when I first met you, and it was happened to be at the KWC or the EWC, right? And you were
Yeah,
doing content. This is
yeah,
well before we were, doing the whole analyst caster, relationship or
yeah,
whatever. But it was you were constantly putting the pressure on in terms of just finding content throughout, pulling out players, doing the interviews, and just being really
yeah.
next level. But like obviously you have this wealth of knowledge and you have a great understanding of the meta in terms of the content making creation space, but like for people that are not as good, what are some of those tips to really get to your level, Dave?
Think just do what you like to
Mm,
start off,
mhm,
from a content perspective, right? But you have to do it consistently. Like
mm,
consistency in content is the most important thing. Um, the I would say the two most generic thing that comes to the top of my head
mm,
is if you want to focus on gaming content, you're a streamer,
mhm.
and you think you're really good at gaming, and you just want to share your gameplay, then it's the general formula is quantity over quantity, quantity over quality. So you just
Yeah,
want to do a lot.
yeah.
Uh, Live stream, video,
Mhm,
shorts, whatever boosts your impression, get your content out there. But if you want to focus on quality over quantity, let's say you don't have a lot of time, but you want to do tier lists, you want to do like breakdowns or whatnot, then sure. Or you want to focus on editing, like high quality editing. You're a really good editor, but you don't have time. You have a day job. You're going to school. Then you do 2 to 3 videos a week, right? But you really want to focus on the quality of this video. Make sure that the retention for the videos are long. There are different. I mean, it's too detailed, and I think it's tailored to content. Is tailored to individual person. It's what fits your schedule, your personality, to be successful in content. I do mostly tutorials and can't speak right now. Analytics,
Yep.
and then so also like I would say watch party in
Yeah.
a sense. Like
Okay.
I wouldn't call it watch party, but I like to watch KPL
Yeah.
personally. So and I see my strength is looking at a game. I just don't just watch. Oh, what a great Guan Yu play!
Yeah.
I don't really see that. From when I watch KPL or top gameplay, what I usually like to do is notice patterns. So okay, what make this specific game, this play, it works now, but let me look for a similar draft in from 10 different games and see like if it always work, or how do a team always win a Tyrant fight or Overlord fight, or how do they push. So after noticing those patterns, I make videos based on those. So then I can share with my audience or community. Okay, well, it's not just one play, because I don't think one play always happens, but if this is a pattern of then it become like a teaching moment. It become a video.
Yeah.
So that's what I like to do. But you just have to find your niche and then share the niche with your community. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Actually, one of your videos, the Yario one in particular, this is like way even before the KWC. I remember watching that. I was like, oh my gosh, I do need to play this hero because I wasn't playing her.
Yeah.
And I was spamming it, and it definitely helped me in terms of my stars. So that was a great one. Thank you for that video. I just want to give you a shout out for that one. Very helpful. And we do need to check you out. Of course, let me start off also. Where's your, what is your tag?
I think just search Assassin Dave HOK, and then you will find me on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, great. Get some great videos, of course, and learn quite a bit with what you've thrown out there. I mean, there are so many good videos and a lot of learnings, a lot of lessons, so to speak. But speaking of lessons, let's turn it into a different. Let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about BTK here, right? This is a team that has actually gone, dare I say, from the Legends to Kings route. This is a squad that, dare I say, there wasn't a whole lot of time for them to really get ingrained into the Honor of Kings ecosystem. But actually, let's talk a little bit about this transition here. What were your thoughts on that throughout? There was a whole bunch of drama.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wouldn't dig into the history of the transition, but I think everybody watching, if you know anything about BTK, you probably already know what happened. But so BTK as a team was they were homeless for a while, and then shout out to the Honor of King team for providing a new home, or providing an option, right, for the team to have a home. Because initially it was mostly just a sponsorship of a singular sponsorship for Hoon and Zane, right, individually as a creator. But it led to the situation where the team did get banned from EWC, and then they have HOK again offered them a new home, to develop, to grow. So now the team is learning Honor of Kings, and then the thing is though, for the entire BTK, they do not have the I would say the privilege or the advantage some other team have with a lot of the Chinese players, right? Because the Honor of Kings right now, all the teams, like I've talked to a lot of teams, is if you really want to compete in the HOK ecosystem, you really just need like 1 or 2 Chinese players who can teach the team. But a team that BTK doesn't really have it. And then to get a player, you need to pay them salaries or whatnot. Like I said, this is a player funded or a player formed organization, right? So we don't really have, beside the funding for individual talent, but there's not really a funding for the team, per se.
Yeah.
So we don't really have a salary pool that we're going to pay players. So we don't have the Chinese player knowledge coming into the team. The players are learning and playing the game on their own. For them, this is actually the first time they're playing the game.
Yeah.
Where, let's say, compared to LM, right, from another North American team that went to the KMW, right, King Major West. LM individually player all have like 6-7 years if not longer, of experience, right? Gaming experience for Honor of King because they played the Chinese version for many different years, many years. For the BTK team though, like the longest player experience for the game probably like 3 to 4 months, and the rest of the players probably like 1 or 2 months. So like I'll give an example. Like on stage, they're still talking about okay when enemy team are picking a hero, they still have to discuss like exactly what that hero does,
Oh, wow.
and then to make sure because they've seen it they've seen it in rank quite often because they've been grinding, but they're not familiar, especially for a character like Mei Yin.
Yeah.
Because like not everyone can play that position. We're talking about I'll do this comparison again.
Yeah.
So for LM, every single player from that team, they probably played every single character in the entire Honor of King roster,
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
So even though they can focus on the position they play, but they know exactly what all the character does, the cooldowns, the build, their power spike, for example, they got a feel for it. And that's the key to, I would say be good. Your first step towards pro. You actually have to understand the game, right? But for BTK, Zane just started to learn marksman.
Yeah.
That means like, okay, it's hard enough for him to understand his own hero power limits, right? Not to mention, okay, here comes the Mei Yin who jumps in. Like, what exactly does she do?
Yep.
Right? Yeah, like to learn, you can't expect a player to learn his own role, but also at the same time play all the other characters and remember their cooldowns and whatnot.
Exactly.
That's just impossible in the time frame. So, like if you look at BTK's games in KMW, like they have quite a bit of games we could have actually won the series.
Yeah.
But with the lead that they had, the biggest thing that comes with inexperience is that you don't know whether you can fight or not fight in certain scenarios.
Yes.
So there are a lot of error that the enemy took advantage of. Like I would say a few series they could just won in a 2-0, 3-0 fashion, but they lost a huge lead.
Yeah.
And then turned the game away. So that's basic. But I believe like with time, the players love the esports competitive side of Honor of Kings.
Of course.
They find the game extremely fun to playing a 5v5 situation scenario. It just they need a lot more time to understand the game or whatnot.
Yeah, no. So there's a lot right there to kind of digest in terms of that. But we definitely saw the growth of the team. They definitely got better. There was the whole thing that everyone says on stream is either you learn or you win, right? And I think that there was a lot of learning that was being happened, and it was very compressed, right? It was a little bit tough for you guys to kind of be thrown to the wolves with guys that have been playing together for literally years and getting themselves, like to compete against those teams, not going to be the easiest thing, right? And that was kind of an unfair situation for BTK. But you've been thrown to the wolves, and you had this opportunity to play on. I think a lot of the other teams would have been, dare I say, envious of that because they got to play, and then playing against like OG in 11, 12 minutes, like how much are you actually learning from game to game?
So that's actually one of the biggest challenge the team have. So the thing is, like, KMW, surprisingly for the team, for entire BTK, including me, was how difficult this qualifier really is.
Yeah.
People thought, Kazakhstan, you have Argentina, like teams. Okay, you're probably not familiar with the team or the region, right? The country. But the players are senior players. They're veterans. They played Honor of King for a few years, and they played another version. I would say another version, but a different game that's almost exactly the same called Arena Valor, like from many years ago. So all those players are really, really experienced. And then, but BTK we didn't know that information, right? We came in like, okay, we thought, at least maybe let's try to beat Argentina. That wasn't the case. It felt like so there was a huge difference between like expectation and reality. And that actually created a negative cycle for a lot of the players. So one thing that we constantly had to work on internally with the team is like team morale, because they felt there's no positive loop back.
Yep.
Everything that we do in training, in scrim, it almost feel like if you played against like any decent teams, you just get stomped on. But then you turn around, you play against a team that doesn't really have like a lot of Chinese players in it. You do the same. You stomp on them. So there's no in between. That means like if there's no back and forth, there's no really learning.
Yeah.
because you just get stumped.
Exactly.
Like for example, we'll pick the best comp, but because like doesn't even if you have the best comp, you don't know when to team fight because they're inexperienced, right? Like I said, it's all tied together. You don't know you don't know how to macro with the team with the comp. What happens is they think they're making the right decision, but the right decision, the quote unquote right decision the players are making are still getting punished.
Yeah.
Because it's not you're actually not playing to the actual strength of that comp against a team that's more experienced, right?
Yep.
So what happens is like everything the team was doing, they feel like they're just getting punished.
Yeah.
And then that actually was damaging the team morale.
Yeah.
And not to mention that for BTK, every single stream, every single game BTK played was actually on stream. And then we talk about how this team, different from any other team, is a team of content creators.
Yeah.
Right, like every single player is a content creator in their own right, and they stream and they make content, and they're well known in the mobile community. In fact, I would easily argue that BTK is probably the most popular Honor of King teams, like English teams, right? Western teams outside of the SEA region, you know, the RQs of the world. So like you talking about a team that's like really popular, the players are really popular, and then they obviously also they have the best numbers I think when their game's on. But when they play, they just constantly get like destroyed.
Yeah.
In a way.
For like a better terms.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, in a way. So like the players are we constantly have to work on the player morale.
Yeah.
And that's why like it's a challenge for the team, but they're learning. So the good thing is like after each game, we still do VAR review and then learn from the game and try to improve. And the player have the expectation that the reason why we had this opportunity to go to Kingmaker West and then to go to Malaysia for this long period of time, So when we went in, the team had expectation is we're going to use the opportunity to learn the game and then have the opportunity to scrim against the best region and then the best teams, the best players. And then they were really excited and they were happy about that. It's just that how do we balance the constantly losing? And also the differential of expectation and reality. That with the with the fact that I understand I'm learning, but I'm losing all the time. So,
So I think the biggest thing is that the teams were starting to find like things that were starting to work for them, right? There were definitely leads, but it seemed like they would like lose out something and then they would just like try to force the issue. They would take fights 4 versus 5. They would kind of, push the initiative. And obviously these are things that they'll get better on playing as a team. But as content creators though, it seemed like they were more individually, they're mechanically skilled, but they were playing more like an individual than like as a team though.
Yeah, because again, that's the thing, bro. The lack of experience. One thing that comes in, I think Hoon touched on it in his own live stream. The biggest thing about Honor of King is it's more of a team game compared to its competitor.
Yeah.
I would say that, right?
Yeah.
So it's very, very strategic in terms of like macro.
Yeah.
So because the map is larger, so there's a lot of trade-offs. Like when you make a macro decision, you have to know exactly what you want out of that rotation.
Yep.
Otherwise, if you make that rotation, you will find that, if I don't achieve my goal, they're frequently a huge loss, because the other team, they think about Honor King's map as an axis of like it's a circular rotation. If you're gonna go bottom side, frequently you will find your opponent go to mid or top. They looking to trade. So it's like a map of axis, constantly rotate towards the center. So the team doesn't really understand that yet, or even though when they went, they don't know how to. There are still a lot of missing gaps on like how to pressure an objective, how to push an objective, and then those gaps, like I said, just ties back to my previous point. It feels like everything they're doing, they're getting punished. So they're learning that, and then the negative feeling that you're getting is not helping in game either. So imagine you make a decision. Let's say let's go push bottom side. It didn't work out because you didn't execute the push or the pressure like correctly, and you think then you might question yourself: is that the wrong decision? So the shot caller, let's say who would make a call, we're going bottom, but it didn't work, and all of a sudden he's questioning everything that he said in the game. So he stopped making macro shot call, for example, and that kind of negative trigger. It's really, really bad because in game, in Honor of King specifically, you have to constantly be making decisions, and it's like it's playing chess, and you have to make decisions as a team. So that's actually one of the most difficult part and most exciting part, I would say. Also, what make Honor of King esports so fun to watch because when a team play the game to the textbook, and then you can feel it. You can see why does this team just knows exactly what they want to do, how they want to do it, and execute their strategy flawlessly. So to BTK, the team is still learning and then understanding, how to, because there's so many pieces. You have to put them all together to,
Exactly.
To sing a song. So like right now, I would say the team is still learning.
Okay, okay. But I mean, of all the people, like you're talking about the morale issue, right? And some of the guys are obviously going to be down a bit. Who would you say is kind of like, he was taking it a lot harder than the other ones? And then who on your team would also be the exact opposite in the sense of like bringing the team back up?
Sure. I would say, like, from trying to be frank, right? I think also like the players have said in their own live stream. I'll probably say like the most challenging is for Zane, like Zane personally, because he was a jungler.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter. Like he played competitive AOV before. He played competitive for other titles as well. But he was always the jungler.
Yeah.
And then the reason why, initially when we decided to try Zane in the marksman lane was because first of all, Carlos, best player, he came into I would say HOK with some previous experience.
Yep.
Like in a sense where best player when he first started, he already kind of played a Jing Luna, although it was the pre-reworked Jing.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different compared to the current one, and then he's still trying to learn the current one. It's a lot more complicated than before now if you try to do it. But obviously, if you master Jing, it's insane.
It's insane. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it takes I think like a whole maybe years to do that. So he's spamming Jing to understand it. But he already had that experience coming into the entire BTK in HOK competitive scene, right?
Yep.
He played a little bit Luna, he played a little bit of Jing, and then he obviously, by the way, like right after BTK joined HOK competitive, best player already acquired #1 main key and #1 Algron in the entire NA server.
Yeah.
So like he's a grinder, right? He grinds peak and he grinds a rank. So he played those characters, but Zane didn't have that experience, right? He truly just like learned the game, play the game for like 1 or 2 months. So we decided, okay, well, maybe it's better to have if somebody is more experienced in jungle, and jungle is one of the most intensive macro rotation role. Just keep Carlo best player in the jungle role and have Zane learn marksman. And then another thought that went into this was Zane was always really good at farming. So if you've been following Zane's career, you've probably seen like how he plays the game. He's really good at resource allocation. Even now, he's like learning marksman. We just told him a little bit, and he watched obviously a little bit of KPL and then some player perspective, and he quickly got a sense of like, okay, what farming means in HOK. And he was when he first got in, he was always questioning like, I'm just regular learning. I'm not feeding. I'm regularly laning. I'm not feeding. I'm not losing last hits. Why like few minutes in, I'm few hundred gold behind enemy marksman? Like what's going on? And then so now he grasped that. In fact, I talked to the coach MTS quite a bit. He said Zane probably has one of the best laning now among the entire team.
That's awesome.
Because he's learned really fast. But even then, the laning phase in general is just not something that's suited for him because he's very active. He wants to go around the map and make things happen. Where if you need to be like a good marksman player, you actually just need to settle down in the early phases and just farm, right? And then that's like the PVE experience, not something that's I would say fits his personality. So I would say that's probably very challenging for him. But also, and that's also why we say internally within our team when we do our analysis and breakdown, we think that Zane has one of the bigger improvements because like he adjusts to a complete new role and actually did it really well in his position. So I would say that the person that's carrying the team, not carrying like in terms of results, I would say. Actually, in terms of game performance too, it's like our clash game, like fried chicken.
Fried chicken, yeah.
And then internally, we also talk about this, but the team just think like, oh, why does coach and then manager Dave, Coach MTS, keeps on glazing him. But we do. This is a fact. Like Chicken being grinding content, being grinding live stream,
Mm.
and also just training his own role. Like his personality is very interesting. Like he really is excited or passionate about learning something new.
Yeah.
When something is like new, and then let's say he plays Byron, which is supposed to be like one of the strongest
Yep.
lane characters, right?
Yep.
And he loses to all kinds of heroes, and he's like, "Why am I losing?"
Yeah.
And that actually, for a lot of people, that might be demotivating, but
Yep.
for Chicken, that's actually one of the motivating factors.
Interesting.
And then he will try to learn and find out why he is losing to all this, heroes,
Yeah.
and then find out, okay, how should I lane against this hero in order to win? So yeah, like for if you are in HOK for some time, let's say from a caster perspective, if you pick a Byron, enemy team picks something like, I don't know, Mulan, right?
Yeah,
And you're like, oh, obviously Byron's gonna destroy that lane. But to Chicken for the longest time, he doesn't. It's not like that to BTK at all. Actually, for every single lane, because he didn't understand what Mulan even do.
Okay.
Right? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the Clash lane is one of the hardest
It is.
most micro intensive kind of lane, right? Like every hero has insane amount of mechanics.
Yeah.
Like in Mei Yin, how do you trade with Mei? First, you have to understand this hero mechanic, and then you have to understand how to use those mechanics in lane,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you're not playing against
It's
bots,
key.
you're playing against human. So I would say Chicken has definitely been the most passionate and carrying the team from a lead by example perspective. Like he has improved it tremendously, mechanically, macro perspective. Also, like for example, when you play Guan Yu, the hero mechanic is really easy. I would say I wouldn't say easy, but if you play a little bit, you would learn it. Fairly easily. But it's mostly for that character is macro intensive. Like how to rotate. The Guan Yu's biggest strength is amount of map pressure you provide.
True.
But then there's a balance between, okay, how much lane can I lose, or should I even lose this lane, or should I cut a lane before going to gank? And he actually learned he actually improved visibly is with Guan Yu. Now we see him carry with Guan Yu as well in the games that we played in our group. So Chicken definitely did really well, and I hope he continue to learn all those characters. Because clashing is just so hard. But if you do well, it's like you can easily shine. Within the game.
Definitely. I think actually this season I've tried to shift into the Clash lane just to kind of give myself a little bit more experience with the other lanes. It has been a troubling transition and not been the easiest one. So I totally understand Fried Chicken on this one. But I think the biggest takeaway from that is the fact that he's learning, right? I think that all of the guys need to be hungry for that, especially at the stage of trying to go in. But I mean, after what has kind of happened, with that experience in Malaysia, and I'm sure it was a positive one because everyone came out with like those lessons, and like now you understand what you need to do. Like, what are the next steps for these players? What are they? Are they scrimming? Are they just constantly grinding? Or are they taking a little bit of break? What's going on now?
I think we just came back from Malaysia, so people are jet lagged, and also like going to Malaysia. Another thing that is. Players were all sick. Like the entire time when we played, you don't see this in front of this, this TV screen, right? But the players were actually the entire time the players were there. They were sick.
Oh no!
And then there are a few things about it. Number one is like on the flight there. I think best player first got sick, just on the flight. And obviously that happens frequently. Traveling, it's easily Anyways, so he got sick, and the entire team then one by one fell to the victim of it from catching cold or whatnot. And then also the food. It was really hard to get used to because back at home, like in the United States, all those players like to eat mostly protein. Like our diet is mostly protein, right? Like meat, different kind of meat, beef, chicken, mostly. But going to Malaysia, it was actually really hard. To get those, right? Like in a budget, right? So you can get really expensive ones, but we're not millionaires. So it's so like they were having issue with getting sick. So right now they're back. They're adjusting back to their routine lifestyle. And then after everybody is like back in healthy mode, first thing is you will see those players going back to content quite a bit, streaming a lot. Okay. Making a lot of videos, and then they will take the stream opportunity to also learn the game, continue to learn the game. I think we might also do a little bit of like testing a little bit of lane swap and have Zane play a little bit of a position that he's always used to. Yeah, so we don't know. We'll
Okay.
test different things, right? Because right now we have time,
Yeah.
and we'll take the time to test different things and see what works best for the team. But to be honest, like BTK really wants to join the big stage, right? The KSCs or whatnot.
Of course.
Despite the defeat we had or the experience we had, learning experience we had in Malaysia, the team still want to go to the bigger stage. And then the good thing about Honor of Kings, there are a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of esports opportunities, right? I know next year, EWC had made an announcement about something regarding like I think they're not maybe not may not just be one EWCs, might be more,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
For
yeah.
Honor of Kings. And then there is also like the S4, the KSC next year, and all of those might include like, many different regions. So BDK is going to do our best to continue to learn the game and hopefully to participate in those opportunities. And the next time when we play, hopefully we can show the world from the BDK announcement video who we really are, right? Like just a better BDK in terms of competitive, because every single one of those players are extremely competitive. After the game, they go watch their own position, they learn a lot. So and they want to prove a better version of themselves, obviously to the world, to their own community. So I'm excited.
No,
Yeah, but yeah, we're back in training mode.
yeah, yeah. Awesome, awesome. Great to hear. I'm actually super excited to see what the next steps are going to be for BTK, how they are actually going to be proceeding into these big tournaments, because I think that they have a lot of potential. You see flashes of brilliance when they play. Like they're mechanically sound. I mean, you can kind of tell. I mean, there's some things that they're kind of like questionable or whatever, but I think that at the end of the day, this is still a team that's really on the rise. They have that potential, which is the biggest thing. But that said, with KMW and kind of going into the NA qualifiers as well, I just kind of want to see if this one fits. But is Level Max your ultimate rival at this stage?
No, that for sure wasn't. Like we never saw. I mean, like okay, we don't see anyone in the tournament as a rival.
Okay.
Per se, everyone's a learning experience for us. Like, but I do want to say though, like, it's we almost took a series from LM,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then that was kind of exciting for us. But it was also like a I wouldn't say surprise. However, it still is a surprise. Because again, think about it. Like LM, every single one of the players played the game for many different years. I think their least experienced players probably played the game for 5 years.
Yeah.
Here's a team who played the game like 2 to 3 months, right? At best. Because like the Fireman came out, like before Fireman, Honor of King for the longest time, like we had an issue where the player couldn't play together because they had a star difference.
Yep.
So you had an issue where Zane couldn't even play with a support because he never had one.
Yeah.
Like if he's a marksman, and then playing duo lane without a support is very odd.
Yeah.
For him. So he constantly get ganked. He didn't even know why he was getting ganked, and he was frustrated. So I would truly say that BTK really started playing the game after the 5-man got implemented in the game. Where they could have played 5.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's like a month, less than a month before, probably like a week. No, yeah, like a week, a little bit over a week before they left for Malaysia.
Okay.
So like truly, I would say that's the time when they started playing the game. They were starting enjoying the game as 5-man because they're start having some fun.
Yeah.
They can learn the game.
Yeah.
Before then, it was really hard for them to learn because like it's the same thing. It's like the negative feedback.
Yeah.
Like you can play. Like for example, before HOK, when any one of those players stream, it was like 10 wins, 1 losses, right? And now when they stream HOK, when they started playing, it's like 2 wins and 10 losses, like in reverse. Yeah, it's like how do you? it's a learning. It's too much of a learning.
Yeah. Yeah. They
of
gotta stop learning, right? At some point.
Yeah.
Right?
And see, the thing is, like, if it's off stream, like it's just frustrating. But if it's on stream, it's double frustrating, right?
Yeah.
Because like you have to maintain positivity on stream, and you have to learn the game. So it's just challenging for these players, but they're doing their best, and then now they actually like I wouldn't say love the game, but really starting to get into the game a lot more.
Okay.
They understand. They start seeing the macro, the strategic aspect of the game and how interesting it can be, and then how there's so many different strategies and how they like weave together.
Yeah.
So it's really fun for them. Yeah. But that's basically all I got to say about that. Yeah.
Okay. All good. All good. But just one last thing. Like, even moving forward, do you have any plans to scrim with some of the other squads? And are there specific regions that you're looking for to scrim against?
In NA, we don't have a lot of team to scrim against. I would say again, I'll go back to the LM, even with LM. The reason we don't see them as rival because we're friends with them, right? Like so, we're hoping that LM would do well, and then they
Yeah.
actually helped us. We're scrimming partners, like
Okay.
back in Malaysia, so we're really good friends. But after the tournament, coming back to US, it will be hard to scrim versus even LM
Yeah. Yeah.
because the players are students. Some of them work, and most of them are students. So they got school, they got different school activities they have to go attend to, and then their schedule is not very, I would say, reliable. Like if we go to Asia, all the teams we scrimmed against team from IKL, MKL, PKL, like all those regions. You set a time, they're gonna show up, right? When you come to NA, you set a time. Oh, like there's a school project my professor asked me to do. I really just can't. And if you scrim against, like, then they have to find a random friend to fill in.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
really scrimming against that team, you know. So the best scrimming partners in NA is actually just Latam. Like
Yeah.
Latam, and Latam have really decent teams, by the way. Like in our regional qualifier, the Open Series, we lost to the Latam teams, and then obviously they also played the game for like 2 years minimum already,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're really experienced players. I would say like that's the only scrim partners we can find. But for now, at this stage, I think the best course forward is to scrim less, but then focus on learning the game. Like just playing five, playing duo, trio, learn your position, learn your game. Because that's actually more important. I mentioned this already. I mean, when we're on stage, we some of the discussion we're actually talking about, oh, what does hero do? Like
Oh
that's
no.
crazy, like
Yeah.
to
That's
think about that. So
okay.
yeah, but
Okay.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's actually true, right? Like the build wise, sometimes you don't even have because you're not their players are not used to adjusting the build.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So like we're just following like we tell the players how to change arcana, all that kind of stuff. But right now they're just following the arcana. They're not really understanding why this arcana works in this
These things.
scenario.
Yeah.
Like that comes just from experience,
Yeah.
sadly, right? It just takes time.
Yeah, just figuring out that why, so to speak, of and like digging deep
Yep.
into the game, understanding like how the game works, all that stuff. It's got to be key. Totally makes sense in terms of that approach. I expect to see BTK make some serious waves in 2026 with that huge growth and that potential, the capabilities that we've seen from this team because they have it there. It's just a matter of time before we get there. But okay, any final thoughts? Any things that you want to tell the BTK fans, just to kind of the next steps, like any sort of a shout out to them.
Yeah. Shout out to I would say like to all the BTK viewers and then supporters for all the players that we have on the team. Zane, Hoon, Shark, Chicken, best player, Zia. Zia is the sub. For all the players, you're watching them, just keep watching them, like, share, and then we try to have BTK stream like not overlapping with each other, so you can have like a full coverage from top to morning to evening. So keep on supporting their content, and then see like BTK live stream experiences. I would categorize as play with BTK because every single player is still learning their position, learning learning the game. So if you're new to the game, I think BTK actually provide the top content because you don't just watch a god all of a sudden, right? Coming in who already know how to never miss a dash on Luna or whatnot, right? You actually watch someone who struggle and then start to become better and eventually become better. Like I use Chicken as an example, right? Like you watch his Mei In, like how he start doing triple kills in KNW against the top teams. Like he wasn't like this, right? In fact, every time in scrims when we're in Malaysia, when he picked Mei In, the team would go like, "Oh, can we stick to Byron?" Like, no, I mean like
Right.
it's such a learning that you watch this person grow
Yep.
in his own live stream, and that's really fun because that shows you that what you can do to learn. Like give you some inspiration. So I would say thank you for watching, for supporting, and then keep on watching them. Keep on supporting them. And actually, I want to say something to the haters as well, because I watched the live KMW and then watched the official channel broadcast, the different channel broadcast. A lot of people start making fun of BTK, and then we totally accept that as well. Because just know that, right? This team has only played the game for like 2 months, and then we did the best we could.
Yeah.
Right. But going forward, when we have more time, if we can do like I would say give the top teams a run for their money. in King Major West.
Yeah.
With this amount of experience that we had, just think about what we can do with, for us 5 months or 6 months or
Yeah.
half a
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
a whole year. Right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for the future, and then make sure to follow all the players, and then you
Yeah.
will also BTK official channel if you want to look at the clips, and then that's where you're gonna get the news. And then I'm excited for that, for BTK's growth, and excited to have this journey with you guys.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely amazing right there. And I love the fact that you're pointing out the haters as well. Like, you're going to shut them all down next year. It's going to be great. Let's keep some receipts and have some of those names on standby, because when you guys hit it, let's go. I mean, I think that you guys are going to be on point. All right, that
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
yep.
Thank you, but I want to say like, thank you, Holler, for having me on this to have this chat to give people, I would say, more perspective on where BDK is. Again, for us, it's just learning, and then we're excited to have this opportunity to join this family. So, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. And I appreciate your time. For all the viewers at home, just like and subscribe. We'll be bringing all the content in. And also, we'll be linking in those BTK players with their respective roles, potential new roles as well. And to see, of course, get all the content from them, as well as Assassin Dave here. Thank you so much.